My name is Aisha Ibrahim. This is Election Brief. Within the next 30 minutes, we have the latest update from the political scene. We are live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125, and all our media handles at Joy News on TV. My personal handle is Adenana Aisha. Election headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, SEMA, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, and German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty. Election headquarters for an informed electorate. Please do stay for details. The Electoral Commission has withdrawn 2 of its staff who are officiating the Ejisu By-Elections. In a statement released a while ago, the Electoral Commission said the Commission's attention has been drawn to a video circulating on social media depicting one of the polling stations at the ongoing Ejisu constituency by-elections. The polling station has been identified as the Fomesua Pentecost Church polling station with polling station code F311503. The video shows a gentleman approaching the table and dropping an envelope on the table manned by the presiding officer and ballot issuer. The Electoral Commission has taken immediate steps and has withdrawn the 2 temporary staff while investigations take place. The Commission upholds the principles and values of integrity, truth, and transparency. These values are reinforced during the training of all temporary staff. The Commission will not countenance acts which cast a slur on the integrity of the institution, will not hesitate to sanction its officials who violate the laws. The report on the incident will be made available to the public in due course. And it's signed by We'll be crossing over to Ejisu very soon, where some 106,513 electorates are voting in 206 polling stations at Ejisu in the Ashanti region to elect a member of parliament. The Ejisu parliamentary by-election became necessary following the sudden death of John Kuma, the MP for the area. 6 people are contesting the by-election. They are Esther Say for the CPP, Kwabena Boateng for the NPP, Beatrice Boache for the Liberal Party of Ghana, and Kwabena Usodiomi, an independent candidate. The rest are Frejo Ajiman Joseph, an independent candidate, and Joseph Atakra, also an independent candidate. 5 hours into the voting and turnout has been low. We begin this afternoon with Nanaya Ojima, who has been monitoring events there for us. Nanaya Ojima, what's the latest from Ejisu? Right, so this is Nana Boache Dankwayadom. Tell me, which polling station are you and what's the latest there?
I'm currently at the polling station. The process started at exactly 7 a.m. and it has been smooth since it began.
This is my
the only thing is we have been recording so far at various polling centers that we have visited. We can say that the voter turnout hasn't been impressive, but then the process generally has been a peaceful one since it began at exactly 7 a.m. today.
From where you are, we've heard of vote buying incidents and some few confusion here and there. Have you witnessed any of such where you are?
Well, Aisha, I would first off start with the confusion. The confusion started when some people purported to be supporters of the National Democratic Congress came in when they were asking people to go and cast their vote. That infuriated some supporters of the New Patriotic Party, who also tried to stop the NDC supporters to call in people to come and vote. But then the police were strict about the matter to restore calm. The NPP and the NDC supporters have all been asked to move out of this polling.
Right. Nana Boache Adams' connectivity seemed to be bad. We'll try and get him back on, but he's making the point that from where he is, there's been voting has been smooth. We'll go back to him to tell us more, but right now let's get to Aing Terer, who's been monitoring also from the polling station, where we've seen videos circulating showing an envelope being handed over to an Electoral Commission officer. The Electoral Commission says it suspended those 2 staff and says they are investigating. Aing Terer will tell us more. Aing Terer, what more do we know about this? Right. So we'll try and get Aing Terer back on the line. He's been telling, and in fact, it was an interview with him where, which was a live interview on television where that happened. So if you see the video circulating on social media, it's actually from this live interview. Aing Terer will be telling us more. But what we know right now is the Electoral Commission has suspended these 2 officers and says they are investigating this incident and will be telling us more about this. It will be sharing its report with the public. But just for the sake of viewers, the statement that was issued by the Electoral Commission reads that the Commission's attention has been drawn to a video circulating on social media depicting one of the polling stations at the ongoing Ejisu constituency elections. The polling station has been identified as Fomesua Pentecost Church polling station with polling station code F311503. The video shows a gentleman approaching the table and dropping an envelope on the table manned by the presiding officer and ballot issuer. The Electoral Commission has taken immediate steps and has withdrawn the 2 temporary staff while investigations take place. The Commission upholds the principles and values of integrity, truth, and transparency. These values are reinforced during the training of all temporary staff. The Commission will not countenance acts which cast a slur on the integrity of the institution and will not hesitate to sanction its officials who violate its laws. The report on the incident will be made available to the public in due course, and it's signed by the Electoral Commission. Nana Ojima has now joined us with more. Nana Ojima, earlier you spoke about how some members, supporters of Eduomi, were angry because they felt that there were some, there's some foul play or vote buying. I mean, what can you report right now?
Not long ago, I had the opportunity to speak to Kwabena Kinsley, and he has been.
Nana Ojima, go ahead.
So I had the opportunity to speak to Kwabena Kinsley, and he has been reiterating some of the comments that his supporters have been giving us so far. And according to Mr. Eduomi, truly he has also gotten the message that the New Patriotic Party, led by some of the executives, are going around trying to buy votes here within Ejisu. Not long ago, he himself went through the process and did cast his ballot. He made further allegations that some of his supporters in some parts of Ejisu have also been assaulted by supporters of the New Patriotic Party. He's still here speaking to the media, so we'll try to get more on that.
People can cheer you up, but it doesn't mean that you win. So voting is a secret. You may not know that you win.
So can you say that it means that the MPP is intimidating your people?
I'm saying that there is one occasion in Kwaso that somebody was beaten up. But wherever I've gone to, nobody is threatening anybody not to vote.
And why do you think that people will be sharing money to influence electorate to vote for them?
Why should you share money? This one is primitive type of thinking. Let the people vote so that you know why people voted for you or not. You see, MPP should tell the people what they have done here. After all, during my term, I did a lot of work. It's not in the name of MPP. So why can't they use that one to canvass people to vote for them? Because they have already tagged Osu Adume as an NDC. So it means it will not make sense to them if they say all those works that Adume did in the constituency is MPP. They feel very ashamed. They feel maybe shy in using it. But that's why I'm so disturbed about how can a whole party not get any project, meaningful project in the constituency to canvass for votes, but rather they have to go and share money before they get people to vote for them. Then it's unfortunate. The party should sit up and look into their operations. The government should sit up and look into what they are doing in the various constituencies, in the regions, and in the whole country. Can they continue to share money to influence people to vote for them, especially during the November 2024 elections?
When you are speaking, it means that your heart is still with the MPP. You are providing advice to them.
You have to advise. Any reasonable person should not condemn anybody. Any reasonable person who wants his nation to move forward, you give advice. I can also give advice to NDC when the time comes. But I'm only advising them. And if advice is positive, those right-thinking people in the party will take it and build upon it. Those who are hawks and will not want to listen to what Adume will say, oh, let it go. So why can't I advise?
Prior to today, your camp did allege that the NPP were planning to rig the election. Is it manifesting today?
They are sharing monies everywhere. They are sharing money everywhere. Now, information that we've had is that from 3, 4, 5 going, all those ballot boxes that they have stopped, they have macho men that they will go around operating, taking away ballots that has been cast by people, and they will put what they have completed there. So we are also alerting the police in all those areas to stand by, and we are hopeful that the performance, the excellent performance that Dr. Dampare put up in Asinov, we know that the same performance will also be here in the Ejisu constituency. So I'm not disturbed. I know nobody can come and change any ballot box because Asinov, police service did very well. I'm expecting that the same thing happens here in the Ejisu constituency. So I'm not disturbed, but just for them to know that they are planning to do that. Why are they planning to do that? Because they know they have nothing to show the people here in the Ejisu constituency.
There is a video in circulation suggesting where we see an individual, giving something in a white paper to the EC officials. Have that been brought to your attention, and what is your reaction on that?
White paper?
Yes.
He's giving monies to people.
No, it's a white paper. We are unable to confirm that it's money.
I'm not aware of that, so I may not be able to speak on it. I'm not aware of that. No.
So Kwabena Osu Ediomi just spoke to us about incidents and his general impression of the election so far. So the place is very packed. As you can see, his people are cheering him up.
So that was Nanaya Jima with some updates from the constituency. And as you can see, that was the independent candidate, Kwabena Osu Ediomi. He says he's not perturbed about the monies being shared, but he's calling on the police to take note that they're hearing that there are plans to rig the elections. But then let's look at that video where the MP for Kwadaso is seen handing some envelope to the 2 officials of the EC that have been suspended.
to take part in the election. So I'll say that the election has been peaceful in Ejisu. So from the Pentecost polling station here in Fumeswa, one of the densely populated areas in the Ejisu constituency, we are moving to other places to monitor the elections and bring you update as far as the Ejisu by-election is concerned. Don't forget that over 100,000 electors are expected to cast their ballot today, and the EC expects nothing less than 50% in today's election being the turnout for today's election. So coincidentally, today is also a market day in Ejisu. So the EC hopes that many of the market women who are in the market will turn up later in the day to cast their ballot. So Aisha, that has been the situation from the Ejisu constituency.
Right, Aing Terer with that for us. Let's also Evan. So that was the live interview on Joy News when this was captured, and you may see that is circulating on social media. I've been joined by Evans Mensah, who is head of political desk here at Joy News. Evans, this is very interesting. A stronghold of the NPP. And in fact, the NDC is actually not participating in this, and we're seeing all of this.
Yes, so as it is now, on the face of it, the MP for Kwada, so he's seen putting the envelope on the table.
Yep.
You don't see the officers immediately taking it. The EC in his statement described it accurately, which is that you see this individual putting the envelope on the table and then he leaves. Yeah. Of course, they've taken swift action, which is suspend them, withdraw them immediately, and investigate, which is what they must do, because there's obviously will cast a doubt over the elections and make it a bit suspicious, right? It can be the basis for rejecting the entire results, right? Anybody can go to court if it's proving and file a case in court. And that's why the EC has taken this action immediately. The key question then becomes, if you're investigating this, that particular polling station, what do you do with the ballots that have already been cast? That, for me, is the challenge that the EC is going to face now. Odiomi's people, they haven't seen it. We just heard him say to us live a short while ago, he's not seen it, he can't speak to it because he hasn't seen it. But the EC has seen it, and they've taken action. The fact that they've withdrawn the officers, it's, of course, the right thing to do. And they are investigating. They must quickly tell us what the outcome of the investigations are. But how do you do that without pausing and examining what had gone into the box, right? And that, for me, is the key thing. We need to watch how that plays out, especially from the side of Odiomi, how they approach this and the petitions that they may file and what they may demand. But you made a point about this is a stronghold of the MPP, and it is a stronghold of the MPP. It is just the Odiomi factor. And you see him there removing what appears to be an envelope from his back pocket. He attempts to give it to them. They don't seem to quite catch his eye, and then he drops it on the table. He looks around and leaves. We must say, after this, he grants an interview, I believe, to us, in which he tells us that they will do anything to win the elections. To win the elections. This is under investigations, and so you can form your own opinion about this as you will. But it is a stronghold, but Odiomi is making this a bit more complex, and is throwing a challenge to the MPP in a way that they haven't seen before. Except that there is history coming from the Ashanti region that the MPP is paying attention to. And the reason why they deployed all their big guns, they sent in there the president, the vice president was there, everybody who mattered in the MPP was there over the weekend to campaign. And we've seen all the aggression that they're showing on the ground, because you go to the recent memory of Kwabena, it's fresh on your minds. Somebody who was a staunch member of the party, devout, committed member, decides to go independent because he's aggrieved, contests against the MPP's chosen candidate, and wins in the 2020 elections. He's the only reason why MPP is able to do any proper business in the parliament right now. So they know that history. And then you go to Bekwai, where Joe Sowusu, same, also had grievances with the party, decides to go independent, wins, again goes to parliament and returns to the party and does business with them. And we're having a similar case here. Again, an individual who has shown formidable wits when it comes to contest and electoral victory as a member of parliament, fought the MPP for 3 terms, still holds a record when it comes to the percentage of votes secured for Ejisu, right? So you cannot ignore him. And that is why the MPP is taking this absolutely seriously, and they must. Because if they lose this tonight, they instantly become the minority in Parliament. So this high stakes tonight, high stakes, and that's why we're seeing, and normally in high stakes elections, you see this play out.
We have Aing Terer, where, I mean, he was the one doing the live report when all of this happened. He's joining us right now. Aing Terer, you've been speaking with EC officials in that constituency. I mean, what have you gathered?
Earlier, I spoke to Dr. Srebokwe, the Director of Elections at EC, and he was very particular about turnout in today's elections. He says that he is hopeful that over 50% of turnout will be registered here. But as far as the issue of the two EC officials allegedly collecting an envelope from an individual, they are yet to speak to me. I spoke to an official who also directed me to speak to another senior official for him to give me official information on this. But to the best of my knowledge, both the regional officials of EC and national officials have been to the Pentecost polling station at Fumeswa to meet the two EC officials, and also as part of the investigations to get preliminary information from them. And that is what informed their decision, perhaps, to call for suspension of the two officials. So I would say that here in Ejisu is being talk of the town. People are discussing this as why a senior member of the ruling MPP will go to a polling station and try to offer something in an envelope to EC officials in the full glare of the public, when even the media is also present. So it's gaining some sort of discussion here in Ejisu. Behind me is the Roman Catholic police station in Ejisu township proper, and a couple of journalists and few EC officials I've seen here are all discussing the issue, and they think that this could go a long way to one way or the other affect the credibility of today's polls, Aisha.
So, Aing Terer, you spoke with this MP, the said member of parliament, who actually offered the envelope earlier before he went in to do it. What did he tell you?
Aisha, actually, the interview was after he has allegedly dropped the envelope.
Okay, that was after the incident.
Yes, if you saw me in the video, he was actually behind me because the polling officials are stationed behind me, because I was not allowed to do the interview within the inner perimeter of the voting center. I was just in front or ahead of the voting center. So after this, I spoke to him. I didn't know that he actually dropped something for the EC officials. It was after the live program that people sent me videos alerting me of what the man was doing behind me. Unknown to me, I spoke to him immediately after the live program with you, the live interview with you. And he did indicate that this particular election is very crucial to the New Patriotic Party, especially at the time that there's parliament, there's split of members in parliament, taking into consideration MPP gaining some support from independent candidates before they are able to form majority in parliament, and that they will do everything possible. We should underline the word everything possible to win this election. Those were his words, that the MPP will do everything possible to win today's by-election. And people have started reading meanings into this, especially myself, and then the cameraman was like, if we knew he had dropped this envelope, then definitely we would have asked further questions to understand what this everything possible means. But in the interview, I quizzed him further to understand what this everything possible means. And he says MPP will use fair means to win today's by-election.
Let's listen to what he told you in that interview.
We have Dr. Kinsley Nyako here, MP for Kwadaso. And it's good to see you in the Ejisu constituency, though this is not your parent constituency. What is at stake for your party as far as this by-election is concerned?
Okay, so, Ejisu is a traditional New Patriotic Party seat. And this constituency has produced some great MPs who were also ministers, like Honorable Kwasi Oseiche, who became Foreign Affairs Minister, our own brother and very good friend, John Kuba, who was Deputy Finance Minister, who passed on recently. So it is a seat that means a lot to us in terms of the political dynamics within the region and the country. We've lost a very good friend and brother, very hardworking and diligent, somebody who had Ejisu, on his heart. I know the passion he had for the constituency is no more, and I think that we need to fight to get a suitable replacement for him, and that person is the one who is representing the New Patriotic Party, lawyer Kwabena, and we know, the numbers in Parliament aren't good. We can't afford to lose this seat. So we are doing everything possible to ensure that we win the seat to even honor the memory of our late brother. I don't think he'll be happy in his grave if we lose the seat to any other person other than we retaining the seat. So if you saw me here today, that's the reason. And going around, I've seen that the electorates, the constituents, they are willing to, vote massively for Kwabena who is number 2 on the ballot.
You said you're doing everything possible to win this seat. When you say everything possible, what exactly does this contain in the everything possible that you're doing?
We are being diligent. We are working so hard. I've been in Ejisu for about 5 days or so. Working so hard to make sure that we win the seat. But don't forget that the opponent was once a member of the party and had been MP for 12 years. So he has footprints here. Okay, so it's not a case play. So that's why I'm saying that we are doing everything possible. We are being diligent. We are working hard, to ensure that we retain the seat. So, yeah, that's what I meant by saying that we'll do everything possible within every appropriate means.
But surprisingly, you mentioned the opponent. Meanwhile, there are 6 people on the ballot who are contesting the elections today. So why do you single the former MP out as the only opponent when there are other 5 or 4 people involved?
I place my statement within the context. I said that he used to be a member of our party. He's no more. He used to be member of parliament for this whole constituency for 3 times 12 years. And you cannot assume that he doesn't have footprints here. Obviously, he will have. So we are not going to treat this election as any election. What we know is that we are doing everything possible.
So you heard Dr. Kinsley Nyako, his MP for Kwadaso, and he told my colleague Aing Terer that they'll do everything possible to win the elections. Evans, you heard him there, and does this make a difference? What does this mean to the visuals that we've seen, plus what the MP is saying?
Well, it is definitely going to be tough for him because the video is self-evident. This is one of those that lawyers will just have for dinner, because you see him putting the envelope on the table. The question is, what is in the envelope?
Yep.
It's a key question now. And why did he put it there?
Yep.
And the officers who we saw in the video, why didn't they immediately ask him to take it back? There are a lot of questions still left unanswered, and the investigations have started by the Electoral Commission. At what point will the Electoral Commission involve the police, for example, in this matter? It's an interesting one to note. And so we haven't had the last of this. The entire elections, not only in that particular polling station, but in Ejisu, It's currently in jeopardy if this is not handled properly.
Resolved. And at 5 p.m., you and your team will be coming. That's when the polls have closed. And hopefully the EC will resolve this matter. Otherwise, like Evan says, the authenticity of this whole election will be in question. That's how we end Election Brief. Election Brief is on your election headquarters. Election headquarters is for an informed electorate.